how to develop your psychic abilities. Psychic awareness and psychic abilities really means trusting your own experience. And instead of just relying on our physical senses, I'm going to show you how to expand your awareness and develop your psychic sense. In this video, I'll share with you the foundational tools to not only strengthen your psychic abilities, but trust them. Let's dive in. Hi, I'm Sonia. I'm a fourth generation intuitive, and I teach you how to plug back into your innate divine self, your intuition. If you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit that little bell button to get notified every time I release a new video every week. And anything that I mention, you'll find in the description box below, so you don't need any notes. You can put away your phone. But in this video, I'm here to be your guide. So don't trust me, but trust your own experience. And I want you to pretend like you're a scientist and approach this scientifically. Your job is to experiment and chart your own progress. So let's start with the basics. We have our basic consciousness. These are our physical senses, and they're limited. What you see, touch, smell, feel, hear. And if you're only relying on your physical senses, you're missing a whole constellation of vibration, because we live in the universe where everything is vibration. Every single thing, the ocean is vibration, atoms are vibration, bats use sonar, butterflies use heat navigation, and just because you can't see it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. And so when we're talking about our psychic sense, we're talking about opening up to what's beyond just the physical. And that part, that psychic, is what can hear the divine, and it's yours, and it's natural. And it's really a matter of using your own consciousness and directing your attention inward to listen to vibration, which is your intuition, your psychic sense. So our first tool is meditation, 15 minutes a day. When we meditate, we clear away the noise and clutter of the outside world so you can hear your higher self. Because the thing is your higher self is subtle, and it's not going to intrude on your mind's little rotisserie chicken on a spit dialogue. And being psychic is really sharpening your awareness and concentration. My mom always said, psychic is paying attention to what's keenly obvious. And that's what meditation helps with. Also, when you hold your attention on something, it can even just be your breath, what you're doing is breaking up old mental patterns, opening up your awareness, and allowing your soul to speak. More importantly, it's like letting your battery be recharged, because you are a spiritual being, and letting that place of emotions and life just rest in the divine, God, however you define it. And really, what you're doing is allowing yourself to check in with the spiritual plane and dropping out of the noise of your partner, of TV, of TikTok, of Instagram, of whatever, so that you can find that calm inner silence. My Nina, who I come from a long line of intuitives, was deaf. And she said it was the best thing that ever happened to her, because she didn't listen to words. She listened to that vibration. And if you're somebody who struggles with meditation, you can use guided meditation, anything. And if you notice, you'll feel the benefits and your awareness will heighten. So do you meditate? Let me know in the comments below. Or also, even better, get my guided meditation. They are super powerful and wonderful, and it's a great start. So the second thing you're going to need is your psychic journal. And this is where you get to write down all your hits, nudges, all of your coincidences. Don't censor yourself, because when you become aware of your psychic sensibility, of your psychic self, it's what's happening right now. And the big thing that I know from teaching this for forever is it's not that you're not psychic, it's often that you're ignoring or dismissing or blocking your intuition. And so when we have our psychic journal, what we're doing is starting to give voice and acknowledgement, and really just starting to train our mind to pay attention. And really, as we record our experiences, you record those hits, those nudges, those dream journals, whatever, you start to move into ownership. And you'll also notice, like, where do I block myself? Where am I really psychic? Where do I give away my power? A big thing that I see so often is people get hits, nudges, and then they'll ask their partner or somebody else, is this true? And instead of trusting yourself, you trust others and doubt. And that's where our little scientist self comes into mind. So as you start to know, you'll also recognize that you're integrating these things into your awareness. You'll start to recognize, oh, I do have these hits, these nudges. I am really psychic when it comes to people, but I might block myself when I'm trying to listen to my own innate voice. And so even with that same psychic journal, an important thing that we can start to unwind is what are your beliefs around being psychic? Do you have religious upbringing that has a certain influence? Or did you come from a psychic family? Did your dad get a lot of gut feelings? Did your grandma have a certain intuitive language? Could you even talk about your intuitive hits and nudges? Were they something that was taken seriously? One of the big gifts that I know from my family is that my psychic sense was always valued. Anytime that I had a bad vibe, I could squeeze my mom's hand 2 times and it was code for we're out of here. I've got a bad vibe. And so if you haven't had that mirroring, a journal is a really beautiful place where you can start to validate that for yourself. It's where you can start to notice and also train the part that can get into overthinking to see where you are so divinely and supremely guided. And so, in conclusion of this little part 1 of this video is you are psychic, way more psychic than you realize. And as we heighten our awareness, start to pay attention to vibration, start to acknowledge the ways that you are guided. You might also have a certain way that you're guided. Some people are clairaudient, where they hear messages. Some people are clairsentient, where they feel things. Some people are clairvoyant, where they see. That's how they see things in their psychic eye. Pay attention. What is your language? And have fun with it. Don't go into journal of critical, throwing things away. But scientist as in curious, open, available. Pay attention. I see so often that we get so checked out in our lives. And I can do it too. We got our phone, we got TV, we got the news, we got a million things that are constantly invading our consciousness. And that is why meditation is so important. It allows everything to quiet, to tune in and say, how does this resonate? And in that same psychic journal, I'm going to also invite you to start to think about all of your psychic experiences throughout your past, throughout your life. Did you have, it's like, when were those times where you just knew? Or those wild synchronicities or coincidences? Because once you even start to acknowledge them, something wonderful happens. The energy starts to entrain. You start to see these different patterns. Your confidence grows. And this is the foundation of that. And as we start to do that, that's when we start to do our own inner work of, do I look to others? Is that something that was a habit of mine? Or was I validated for what came in? And, in really also developing our psychic sense, our psychic instrument is our physical body. That's where we receive vibration. That's why you say, I had a gut feeling. The gut feeling. It doesn't come from here. It comes from here. So recognize this week too, how much do you pay attention to the sensations in your body? Do you give them notice? Do you move your body? Are you constantly thinking? These are really small, very big ways that create not only a foundation, but a shift. So this is just part 1. I'm going to do another video next week all about developing your psychic abilities and the grocery store, at the grocery store, in the grocery store, the trading app, which I can't wait. And if you haven't already, check out my guided meditation in the description box. It's a really beautiful way to connect with your own spirit. There's also a really fun workbook that comes along with it. And if you're really serious about developing your psychic sense, You can always book a reading with me, a soul reading with me. I also do one-on-one mentoring in very small groups. I'm going to be teaching a psychic development workshop the last weekend in March, which I'm so excited about. And I'm also just launched my new website, and with it, a single card pull reading. So you can get clear on what your soul is speaking to you right now. So tell me, how did you like this video? What's your relationship with your psychic sense? If you liked it, share it with a friend. Leave me a comment, leave me a like, subscribe. It means the absolute world to me, or even just shoot me a message. I absolutely love to hear from you. So next week, we're going grocery shopping with our psychic senses. Oh my gosh, I wonder what we're going to find. I can't wait. Sending you all my love. I'll see you next week. Bye.